They locked eyes across the room, and in that moment everything changed. Hearts raced, promises were made, and some were broken. Welcome to Sensational Stories, where love is never simple and passion always comes with a price. Here, we explore the beauty and chaos of romance. Unexpected connections, forbidden affairs, soulmates found in the wrong places, and the heartbreaks that shape us. Every story is raw, emotional, and unforgettable. Subscribe, stay close, and get ready to feel everything. Maya had always drawn a line between her personal and professional life. At Langford and Company, she was known for her efficiency, not her emotions. That was until Daniel joined the team. Daniel, with his easy charm and disarming smile, was impossible to ignore. He wasn't even in her department, just a visiting project manager from the Chicago office, but their paths crossed often. Too often. It started innocently. Coffee breaks that turned into lunches, emails that became late-night texts. Everyone in the office noticed the sparks, even though Maya wore her wedding ring like armor. Her husband, Aaron, worked long hours as a surgeon, and lately, their conversations had dwindled to grocery lists and bills. Maya hadn't meant to cheat. She hadn't even realized she was doing it, not at first. But the line blurred quickly, and one night, under the cold glow of fluorescent office lights, she and Daniel kissed. They told themselves it was a one-time mistake, but mistakes have a way of repeating when no one stops them. Soon it was more than kisses, secret meetings, fake conference calls, and guilt, a thick, inescapable fog that clung to her every morning when she looked at Aaron across the breakfast table. It all came crashing down the day HR launched an internal audit on inter-office relationships. Someone had noticed. Someone had spoken. Daniel resigned quietly. Maya didn't. She confessed to Aaron before the rumors reached him. He didn't yell, he didn't cry. He just looked at her with a pain deeper than words. "I would have forgiven loneliness," he said, "but not betrayal." He moved out that evening. Now Maya walks the office halls with a new kind of silence around her, one she built herself. And under those same fluorescent lights, nothing shines the way it once did. The weeks passed, but Maya's world didn't move forward. It just stood still. Aaron's absence echoed louder than his presence ever had. The scent of his cologne lingered in their closet. His coffee mug sat untouched in the dishwasher. She considered reaching out a dozen times but always stopped short. What could she say that would matter? At work, she became a ghost, present, but unreachable. The gossip died down, but the whispers lingered in people's eyes. Everyone had an opinion, but no one dared voice it aloud. Except Rachel. Rachel had been Maya's closest friend at work, the kind who knew your coffee order, your favorite pen, your secrets. She approached Maya one Friday, her voice low but sharp. "I warned you," she said. "You just didn't want to hear it." Maya blinked. "Warned me about what?" "Daniel," Rachel said. "He did the same thing in Chicago. Different woman. Same story." Maya's breath hitched. "He moves office to office like a virus," Rachel continued. "Charming, careful, always finds someone lonely enough to believe they're special." Maya's stomach turned. Was it all a lie? Every stolen glance, every whispered promise. She opened her old texts with Daniel. For the first time, she read them with detachment. There were patterns, vagueness, deflection, words that sounded deep but meant nothing. That night, she dialed his number. He didn't answer. She tried again, straight to voicemail. The next day, she learned he had accepted a position overseas. London. He hadn't said goodbye. But perhaps the worst part was this. She wasn't angry. She wasn't even surprised. She had gambled her marriage, her reputation, her peace, for a man who disappeared without a trace. Months later, she sat across from Aaron in a quiet cafe. It was their first meeting since the fallout. He looked older, tired, but kind. "Why did you want to see me?" he asked, his voice neutral. "I needed to tell you the truth," she said. "Not just what I did, but why. I was empty. And instead of turning to you, I ran." Aaron nodded slowly. "I've done some thinking too. I wasn't there enough. But I didn't cheat." Silence fell. "I'm not asking you to come back," Maya whispered. "I just needed you to know I'm sorry, and I'm learning to live with the silence I caused." Aaron looked out the window, then back at her. "I hope you find peace, Maya. I really do." They parted without promises, without anger. Just two people who had once loved, now learning how to let go. 2 days after that quiet meeting with Aaron, Maya received an envelope on her desk. No name, no return address, just a single sheet of paper inside. Printed on it was a photo, grainy, taken through glass. It showed Maya and Daniel in his office. She was in his arms. His lips were on her neck. There was a sticky note attached. "Thought you should know this isn't the first time he's done this. Or the last." Maya's hands shook. She rushed to HR, demanding answers. Who sent this? Was this part of the investigation? But they had no idea. The case had been closed. Daniel had vanished cleanly. She couldn't shake the feeling she was being watched. Later that night, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. He told me I was the only one too. Attached. Another photo. This time Daniel in a dim bar. Same smirk. Different woman. Maya felt the heat rise in her chest, a scalding mix of betrayal and rage. But this wasn't heartbreak. It was humiliation. She traced the number to a burner. No help. But she wasn't going to be silent anymore. Maya wrote a detailed anonymous exposé and posted it online. The serial charmer in the suit. She outlined the timeline, the manipulation, the trail of women left behind. No names, but enough breadcrumbs to feed curiosity. The post went viral by morning. Within 48 hours, 2 more anonymous stories surfaced. Different cities, same Daniel. A quiet storm of HR inquiries began across branches. By the end of the week, Langford and Company scrubbed his profile from the company site. But it didn't end there. One evening, as Maya left work late, she found a manila envelope wedged under her windshield wiper. Inside were photos. Hers this time. Her apartment. Her grocery runs. Her, in her bedroom window. A note. He's not the only one who watches. Maya froze. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was dangerous. She moved, quietly, quickly. New apartment, new number. Left her job without notice. Started therapy, changed routines. But trauma doesn't follow logic. Some nights she woke up sweating, convinced someone was outside. One morning a package arrived. No return label, just a black box. Inside, a silver bracelet. She hadn't worn it in years. It was the one Aaron gave her on their honeymoon. There was a card. Not everyone disappears. A. Her hands trembled, not from fear this time, but from something else entirely. Was it a warning? Or a second chance? Maya stared at the bracelet, the delicate silver chain now feeling like a noose tightening around her wrist. Was it Aaron? Was he watching her? Or had someone else dug into her past? Her heart thundered as she flipped the black box over, searching for clues. Nothing. Clean. Professional. Deliberate. That night she didn't sleep. By morning she was at a private investigator's office. The man across the desk, Callum Ward, looked like someone who had seen the worst in people and stopped being surprised by it. "I need to know if I'm being followed," she said. "And who sent me this?" Callum examined the items with clinical precision. "You're not just being watched. This is a game. And someone's raising the stakes." Over the next few weeks, Callum uncovered fragments. The package had been dropped off at a courier service paid in cash. No cameras, fake name. But the bracelet? Traced back to a pawn shop, sold just a week ago. The seller? Daniel. Maya felt the ground slip again. Daniel still had her things, still thought of her, still played with her life like she was a pawn on his board. Why would he sell it? She asked aloud. Just to send it back? Callum narrowed his eyes. He didn't. Someone else bought it and mailed it. Someone who wanted you to know where it came from. Maya realized this wasn't about Daniel anymore. It was about her, and someone else was playing a far more dangerous game. That night her apartment was broken into. Nothing stolen, just disturbed. Drawers pulled halfway, one wineglass on the table, her toothbrush snapped in two. On the mirror, a message in lipstick. You hurt people too. She dropped to the floor, shaking. The police shrugged it off. No threats, no evidence. Could be a prank. But Maya knew better. Someone wanted her to spiral, to unravel. And whoever it was, they knew everything. She decided to take control. She reached out to Rachel, her former friend at work, now distant but still sharp. Do you think I deserved this? Maya asked her over coffee. Rachel hesitated, then leaned in. No one deserves this. But karma has a strange sense of timing. Maya stood, her voice steady. Then maybe it's time I stop waiting for karma and start delivering it myself. She had lost Aaron. She had lost her job, her safety, her peace. But now, with nothing left to lose, she had something far more dangerous. Purpose. Maya vanished from the public eye. No social media, no digital footprint, just shadows and silence. But behind the scenes, she worked with Callum, mapping out every connection, every person Daniel had manipulated, every woman he'd left behind, and every potential enemy she might have made along the way. Through encrypted messages, she reached out to them. Samantha from Chicago, Elena from Seattle, Rena, a quiet analyst from Boston who hadn't spoken a word about Daniel since her mental breakdown. One by one, they answered. Each woman carried scars, some emotional, some deeper. But together they built something Maya hadn't had in months. Allies. They created a digital dossier. Screenshots, emails, receipts, dates. They pieced together Daniel's timeline across cities, offices, lives. They didn't go to HR this time. They went public. Anonymously, the women leaked the full report to a journalist known for exposing corporate misconduct. The story hit the news cycle like a firestorm. Corporate predator, the hidden life of a high-ranking manager. By nightfall, Daniel's name trended across every major platform. Former colleagues shared stories. More women came forward. Langford and Company launched an emergency press release. Daniel's career was destroyed in 48 hours. But Maya wasn't done. There was still the stalker. A breakthrough came when Callum traced a fingerprint from the broken wine glass in her apartment. It wasn't Daniel. It wasn't Aaron. It was Rachel. The one person Maya had trusted. The one who had watched her spiral with cold eyes and veiled warnings. Jealous. Hurt. And above all, obsessed. Rachel had once loved Daniel too. Secretly. Quietly. And when he chose Maya, she had snapped. The lipstick on the mirror, the photos, the messages, all Rachel. Maya didn't confront her. She didn't need to. The police did. Rachel was arrested for harassment, breaking and entering and stalking. And as for Aaron, she never heard from him again. But that was okay, because Maya had changed. She moved to a new city under a new name, started a non-profit for victims of workplace manipulation. And every time she walked into an office now, it was her setting the boundaries. No more blurred lines. No more pretending. Only truth. Under those same fluorescent lights that once betrayed her, she now stood unshaken, battle-scarred, but whole. When lines are crossed in silence, consequences speak louder than love ever could. The story teaches us that emotional emptiness should never justify betrayal, and secrets, no matter how passionately kept, eventually unravel. True strength lies in facing your loneliness with honesty, not in escaping it through deception. And in the end, the truth always finds a way out, no matter how deeply it's buried.